So I have a follow-up question on this, like U.S. versus EU, right? Because like what we see is that in EU, GDPR was introduced, right? And now in United States, on many state levels, you have those different like privacy acts, right? Like so, what you said about HIPAA and so on, that's definitely true. But like, do you see that actually same thing could be happening with AI, that maybe, you know, it's not going to be on the federal level, and on federal level it's going to stay as a code of conduct, but on the state level maybe different states will start to deploy similar regulations to AI? Or what's your thoughts on that?
I can only go through some of the experience as I had, working first in a law firm in Washington, D.C., and then matriculating over into Brussels at the same law firm, doing basically the same practice, but in an EU location. And I can say my job changed from night to day, or from day to night, however you want to look at it, mostly because of the way data is treated. And I think that some things were made easier in the United States because you had unfettered access to information. But then again, certain privacy and certain protections were trampled upon in doing such a thing. So it really boils down to what rights a country holds most dear, and whether or not they're willing to put those hurdles in front of them to protect those rights. I think it's been made very clear that the EU wants to put that at the forefront, and that will hinder early stage application of these certain AI tools. That's without a doubt. But what I will also say is that if we look again back at the GDPR and how it sort of rolled out across the globe, after that regulation was enacted, even in the United States, you're starting to see a domino effect. You've got California almost mirroring it, and other states going down that same process. So I think once we start defining and understanding really where the benefits and the liabilities come from AI, we'll start to see how those get put into place around the world. So I almost see the EU regulation as the sort of spearhead. This is, we got to get started. You got to start somewhere. Is it going to be perfect? 100% not. Unfortunately, you get the brunt of it in the early stages, but hopefully we just get a better understanding of the better applications of the tools and where they should be used.
So, quick question. I guess it's real simple. How do you get it right with regulation? It kind of reminds me of 2008 with derivative mortgage swaps. I mean, most people don't even know what they are, and probably me included. But as we go into AI and you have politicians involved, and it's a very complex topic, how do you get it right so, like we were discussing, you get the right formula so you don't inhibit innovation, but also you don't violate some fundamentals on our rights? So how do you get it right?
It's...
You don't?
Thanks for that insight, folks.
You made my eye twitch with the credit default swaps, because I worked on a case with that, and I still have nightmares trying to figure out that one. But I believe that you don't get it right on day one. It is an iterative process. I can also say that enforcement is the key to it all. So even though you have these regulations in place, it's how they're being enforced that's really going to dictate how we as the community and the private sector operate within those paradigms. So even, when the sky was falling, when the GDPR was put into place and everyone was hiring DPOs to make sense of the data, no one has really understood what the enforcement implications are behind that. Sure, we have a few big cases here. Sure, we have a few fines there. But we're still learning the true breadth of it. So again, I think when the regulations are being developed, they're trying to cast a huge net. And then we slowly start bringing that in once we start getting an understanding of the true applications of the various clauses. And I think that will be similar in the AI sphere.